Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit different than usual for the past couple DNF videos. Today I'm going to be mainly talking about my current thoughts on DNF Duel and the game itself here in the year of 2025 as we get started. Also, on the DNF videos, I constantly get asked like what music's playing in the background and stuff, and I never have the answer because I don't remember what's playing in the videos besides like the playlist. So I went ahead and down in the corner on the left, you can see what song's currently playing as I'm recording this. So that way that'll help out anyone who wants to know. If you guys like this, I'll continue to do it in other videos, maybe in a little bit more professional looking format, rather than just having this weird little square in the corner. Maybe I can do something to make it a little bit more spiffy. I don't know, but that's there for anyone who asks. But otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to watch some replays that I saved from ranked night the other night. You guys get to see my very, very rusty Ghost Blade. As at this point, I'm basically only playing DNF Duel like once a month, if even that. So every time I play, there's a lot of rust that needs to get knocked off. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the main topic of what I think about DNF Duel currently. I made one last year around the beginning of the year as well, or sometime in like March, I believe. I made a current thought video for DNF Duel. And I feel like for the most part, most of my feelings from that video are still the same, except I will say that at this point in the game's life cycle, I've kind of soured on it a little bit, as much as I hate to say it. I still enjoy the game, don't get me wrong. I still love DNF Duel. I would like to keep playing it, but there's just a lot of different aspects. I'm sure for anyone who does follow the channel for DNF Duel content, you've noticed that compared to before, the amount of DNF Duel content that I upload has gone down dramatically. And that's just because I feel like there's not much more for me to do in this game. Because even though I enjoy playing fighting games, I do like them, and I do like improving in fighting games, I'm not one of those people who strives to be the best, or, you know, like top 30 in the world, or top 500, whatever, in video games. Like, I just want to get to a point where I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm pretty damn good. And I feel like with DNF Duel, I definitely hit that point in its life cycle at one point where I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm a very competent player. I can give most people, you know, like an actual fight. Sure, I still get destroyed against some people, you know, against like the best of the best, but like I feel like for the most part, it's fair to say that at one point I was a great DNF Duel player, and honestly, that's the most I could ask for. And so once I kind of hit that point, it just kind of gets to, for me personally, it's just like, well, what's next? And that would be like, well, you get new characters and stuff like that, but as we all know, DNF Duel seems like the game is kind of no longer getting support. We got the end of the first season pass. We had all these great DLC characters. I thought they were all really fun. Unfortunately, none of them really, like, I would play them all, but none of them made me want to, you know, like completely master them. Like I tried to with Spectre, but it just got to the point where I was just like, you know what, like I'm not enjoying it as much as I would with like Ghostblade, Ranger, Swiftmaster. And now with those characters, I kind of feel like I've exhausted the enjoyment out of learning from them or playing with them, because I mean, at the end of the day, like I've played these characters for, like Ghostblade, I've played since the game release. Ranger, I've played since the game's release. Swiftmaster, I only picked up this past year, but I basically played him for like a good bit. He was the only character I played, and so he kind of like, after a while, it just gets kind of monotonous, I feel like. And that's where, that's basically my current feeling in DNF Duel, is that it's kind of just gotten to the point where it's just like, you know what, I enjoyed the game for what it is, but like, there's not much else. I know there's not going to be more changes because of the devs leaving and moving on to a different project, seemingly. So it's just kind of like, now at this point, DNF Duel is just a game where I just come back to every once in a while because I'm like, oh yeah, that game exists. I always have fun with it. But another aspect of DNF Duel that I feel like has kind of made me drop off a little bit in terms of how much I enjoy playing it, especially in tournament play, is IS, or Indomitable Spirit. Um, whoops, where did I go? Hold up. I believe you're on this one. Indomitable Spirit. As a whole, I understand why it was added to the game, but in my opinion, Indomitable Spirit hurts the game more than it did help the game. Because at high level play, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, like, go watch Rollback on Block, or maybe the last Tampa Never Sleeps, or Wampa Warriors. They have VODs on YouTube, on Twitch that you can find. Or you can even look at some of the versus videos I have from within the past year. And high level play DNF, it truly does feel like every single game is basically just the moment you block something, immediately IS it, so that way you can have white life. And then it's just basically, all right, I get to do what I want until I use up my white life, end on something safe, block, IS, repeat the same thing again. Where it's just like everyone having access to white life so easily, and the fact that everyone's damage is high enough to where you're basically gonna get killed in 2 combos for the most part. For some it'll be 3, but that's if they don't IS into their awakening, which will let them do it in 2. But yeah, it just feels like the game as a whole has just basically become IS the game, and that really is not fun to me. I really don't enjoy the whole having constant white life at all times for any character. Like, it's just not fun to play. Like, after a while of playing it for a few months like that, it just really started to get annoying having to constantly deal with it. And I think that's one reason why I started playing DNF Duel less and less, is because I just wasn't enjoying the high tier, high level, whatever you want to call it, gameplay style with IS. It's not fun dealing with that the entire time, because while yes, it does allow for cool plays and defense is more active than what it was originally, I just feel like they could have done something else in order to make it more, to fix the defense or fix some of the issues people were having with like Ranger guard break and stuff, even though IS doesn't really solve the issue of Ranger guard break either. So IS as a whole just kind of, it just really took away some enjoyment of the game for me. And I know some people like it, and I'm not saying like, oh, if DNF Duel didn't have IS, I would be playing it more often, because I'm pretty sure at this point, regardless, I would be feeling the same way. Because I mean, after almost, it's 2.5 years now of playing the same game, you're gonna have that point where you're just kind of like, you know what, I'm ready to move on to stuff. And also this past year, I've definitely had a bunch of personal life changes to where I just don't have enough, or not enough, but like I have less time to spend gaming. So when I do have time to game, I do want to spend it more on games that I feel like are fulfilling my, you know, my enjoyment, I guess is the word I want to say. I get dopamine receptors, I don't know, however you want to phrase that. But like, for anyone who's keeping up the channel, and you would know about the Street Fighter 6 Master Series for Free U, like that was a lot of fun to do, even though I did rage a lot during it. At the end of the day, that was a really good experience for me. I really did enjoy it. I honestly do feel like that helped me improve as just a actual fighting game player in general a lot, which I really do appreciate. And even though I complained a lot about it, I'm glad I did it. Will I do it again with Terry? I don't know. I've kind of been thinking about that the past couple, like 2 months now, on whether or not I wanted to try that with Terry again, or if I just want to enjoy Street Fighter 6 on a more casual level. But we'll see. Maybe later in the year we'll have a Terry grind the Masters as well. Or maybe try to get to Legend rank, but probably not, because like I said earlier, I'm not the type of guy to like really care about trying to get as high as possible. I just want to get to a point where I feel like, you know what, I feel like I'm pretty good at the game. I feel like I accomplished what I wanted, so we'll see how that happens with Street Fighter 6, but Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about DNF Duel in general now. It's just I still have fun with it, but I don't have the motivation or the drive to want to open it more than like once a month, you know, because basically at this point in the game's life cycle, the population, of course, of the people playing the game is very small. So you're gonna run into the same people a lot, which is also something that kind of hampers the experience for me, especially after uh, playing so much Street Fighter 6 or playing a fighting game with a much bigger population. That it feels really nice. Excuse me, hold up. Okay, sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah. One thing that I really grew to appreciate while doing the Street Fighter 6 master grind is really appreciating the fact of how fun it is to play different styles of characters. So like what I mean by that, or different play styles. What I mean by that is like, yeah, I might have faced like 7 Akumas in a row, but out of those 7 Akumas, only like 3 of them played even remotely similar. And that was just a really fun little aspect that even though you're fighting the same character over and over again, you're going to be, the odds of you facing the same person over and over again in that game is a lot lower because, of course, of how many people play Street Fighter 6, or just a bigger fighting game in general. And God, look at that defense there with Ghostblade. I was kind of cooking on that. Anyways, yeah, so that is really nice, and that's another issue I have with DNF Duel. I don't know if I want to say issue, but it's just like, it's definitely something I noticed is that like with DNF Duel, since you're constantly going to be playing the same people over and over again, it just gets, every game just really starts feeling similar because it's just like, oh, I know this person's going to DP here, or I know this person has a tendency to do that, and it just kind of gets to the point where it's just like, you're not really playing against the character, you're playing against the person, which, I mean, it's fine, but like I said earlier, this has basically been the status quo for DNF Duel for over a year and a half now at this point. Like, the people that I'm fighting currently today, in like these replays and stuff, only one of them is new. The other like 7 matches are basically the same people I've been fighting in DNF Duel for the past year. So it's just very monotonous. Like it just feels like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, which for me it gets very boring, especially in a fighting game. So I guess after doing the master rank grind in Street Fighter 6, I realized just how big of a change that makes that on fighting different people. Because like, one thing you have to take into account when I'm talking about this is that I'm still relatively new to fighting games. DNF Duel was the first fighting game I ever took seriously at some point. It's the first fighting game where I actually learned about Oki, frame traps, fuzzy blocking, stuff like that. First game I ever entered a tournament for. The only game before DNF Duel that I even like, I don't even want to say take seriously, but even try to learn how to do combos in was Dragon Ball FighterZ. And before I played DNF Duel, the only real combo I knew in Dragon Ball FighterZ was the basic Saiyan B&B. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, you know, the 2M, 5M, JM, JL, 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 JM, JL, JL, 2H. You know, just that normal basic combo. I'm pretty sure I messed up the notation, but I feel like most people are going to understand. If you played Fighters, you probably understand what the basic combo I'm talking about. Like, basically every character can do it, except for, like, a couple few that have. Instead of having, like, normal 2Hs, they had different ones, but yeah, that was basically, like, the extent of how much I learned in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and then I guess I did learn a little bit in MK11, but hold up. Okay, sorry. I'm still fighting a little bit of a sickness, so like I have to cough every once in a while. I don't want to cough directly into the mic, so sorry about that. But anyways, what I was saying was like, I did also play MK11, but that's MK11. I really didn't like learn much besides like the normal like button combos that they give you in like the character menus. So they weren't even really combos. Like the most I could do was like, oh, what was it? What was Sub-Zero? It was like what, back 2-1 into Ice Ball, into forward 4 slide, something like that. I don't even remember it at this point, but like in my opinion, DNF Duel is the first fighting game that I ever took seriously. So like when I was playing fighters in Mortal Kombat 11 online, I never really took like, or like really appreciated the fact of playing different playstyles on the same characters, because I was just button mashing, or I didn't like really understand like the nuances, so I wouldn't have noticed it as much as I noticed it now, going from DNF Duel to Street Fighter 6 and then coming back. So I feel like that's another issue. Once again, I'm saying issue. I don't mean to say issue, but it's just another aspect that as I've played more fighting games and like actually like played them and not just, you know, press buttons, but actually take the chance to learn the mechanics and figure out how to be like good at them. It's just something that sticks out to me. It's just how much of a difference playing different people can actually give you, rather than just playing the same person over and over again. I feel like this is probably like, for anyone watching this, they're probably going to be like, well, duh, Ace. Of course that makes a big difference. But, it's just something I never really thought about. And then, like, now that I'm, like, starting to experience it, I'm just like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense as to why that would help a lot with the enjoyment of a game. So, yeah, there's just a bunch of little things with DNF Duel that unfortunately just don't make it as enjoyable for me to play now. So that's why a lot of my like DNF Duel content has kind of disappeared from the channel, because I just don't have motivation to make DNF Duel content, you know what I mean? So I feel like I've done what I can with DNF Duel. There's a few ideas left that I still want to do that I kind of have to wait on some stuff for. Like I want to do a video where I grade all the supers. I'm sure if you've seen rate the supers for Maximilian, it'd basically be the same thing, except put my own little twist or just put my opinion on it. So it'd be kind of like the similar vibe to that. I want to do that for DNF Duel at some point. I also want to go through the story mode of every character, but the person, or one of the people who worked on the English dub mod for DNF Duel, is apparently working on a story English mode dub for DNF Duel that is close to being released, and they're also releasing a dub for the DLC characters. So I want to wait until that releases to go through the story mode of every character. But like, other than that, I really don't know what else I could do for DNF Duel. It's hard to make content for fighting games that's like different from other people, because like there's only so much you can do in a fighting game. Like, I know this is a topic in the fighting game community, is like, well, how do you make different content with fighting games compared to everyone else? And I'm not saying that there isn't ways to do it. There is ways of doing it. Like, you can find a bunch of great YouTubers who have made different content that isn't just, oh, playing ranked matches, or, oh, here's a guide on how to do this and this with the character. Like, there's a bunch of random stuff you can find. But for me personally, for DNF Duel, I can't really find anything like that I would want to do, and I can't find the motivation to want to do it for DNF Duel. Because I just feel like I've gotten everything I can out of this game. And I hate the fact that I feel that way, but it's truly how I feel, because I mean, it's just 2.5 years, man, and for like the past year, it's basically been the same game, minus some patch changes. But some of those patch changes didn't really change too much, especially for my main character, Ranger. They kind of pushed the character in a way that I'm kind of whatever on. Like, yeah, it made him better, but I wouldn't say it made him more fun. It just kind of improved stuff that he had rather than giving him new things to mess around with. So there's just a bunch of stuff where I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I can only do so much. in terms of trying to like squeeze more out of this game. So I honestly feel like besides the ever occasional ranked video, which has basically been what the past few months of DNF Duel content on the channel has been, which has been every once in a while when I jump in on ranked night, which is on Monday. For anyone who's wondering, if you do want to get DNF Duel matches, Monday ranked night is usually, or ranked mode is usually a good place to get matches. You'll get them pretty quickly. But yeah, that's basically what the past few months of DNF Duel content on the channel has been. It's just been just my recordings, whether it be live commentary on those matches or just be the matches themselves from the replay gallery. Because I've literally just been waiting. There was a small part of me that hoped that we might get some news about maybe continued development on the game for like a Season 2 pass, which is why I've been holding off on doing the ranking or the grading of the supers or ultimates in this game. But it really does feel like we're not going to get that anytime soon if we are. So I think now I'll probably be working on getting that done. So you might see that on the channel within the next month. And then whenever the English dub mod releases for the story mode, I'll probably do that for all the characters. But other than that, I really don't know what other DNF Duel content you'll see on the channel. So if anything, I think we're approaching the end of DNF Duel content on the channel, which to me is very sad. DNF Duel is what started my Twitch channel. It's what started the YouTube channel. So it's sad to see that it's kind of getting to the point where I don't want to make content on the game, because this game holds a dear spot in my heart. I think this will forever be one of my favorite fighting games of all time, despite all of the issues with it, because there's just so many good memories with it. I like a lot of the characters in it: Ranger, Ghostblade, Swiftmaster, Hitman, Dragon Knight is cool, Spectre is awesome, Brawler's a super dope character. Like, there's just a lot of cool characters in here, and there's like some designs in the way they play that I don't think you're gonna find in other games. So I think DNF Duel will forever remain like one of my favorite games, one of my favorite fighting games of all time. But yeah, I'm really not sure how much more play time this game is gonna get. So I think that about sums up everything I wanted to say. This is very incoherent video, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to give my current thoughts on DNF Duel, why it hasn't been featured on the channel as much lately. I wanted to wait to do this to where I'm not sick. Like, I'm not sick right now. I'm still a little bit sick, but I felt good enough to do the video, and I've been basically waiting to do this video for about a week now, 2 weeks. So I was just like, you know what, might as well do it today, even if I'm not 100%, because if not, I'm never gonna get this done. But yeah, I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, overall, I still love the game, but I just feel like there's not much more I can do with it. There's not much enjoyment in it. Like, with the time I have to game and record and stream, I'd rather do it on something else that is fulfilling me more, like Street Fighter 6 or maybe Uni 2. I really do want to give Uni 2 a chance. I feel like I haven't given that game a chance yet, despite the fact that I bought it. So I really want to give that game a fair shot. But yeah, that's just how it be. That's just my current thoughts on the game in 2025. I think it's still a super fun game. I still recommend it to people. But sorry, I'm trying to hold back this cough. But I do recommend it to people because, in my opinion, DNF Duel is a super fun fighting game, especially at like an intermediate, lower level. At high level, it definitely gets a little annoying with some of the stuff in it, like I said, Indomitable Spirit. But like below that level, you'll have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of cool characters and stuff, and I'd still recommend it, but only if it's on sale, because like I said earlier, you're not going to find a lot of matches. There's not a lot of people playing this. You're going to have to rely on Discords to find matches, which, in my opinion, having to rely on Discord to find matches isn't that bad, because that's just how a lot of fighting games are, besides like the big three of like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat. So I don't think it's as big of an issue as some people make it out to be by saying, "Oh, it's a Discord fighter." But no, like DNF Duel does have a smaller population of players than most fighting games do, but it still has a very strong, loyal fan base, in my opinion. There's still a lot of us that are sticking around and playing it more, and that are. There's still a lot of us that are sticking around and playing the game often. So, but yeah, if you're gonna buy this game because you think it looks cool, I'd say wait for a sale. It goes on sale pretty often for like you can get both the game and all the DLC characters for like probably $25. And I think that's a super great deal. So if you ever see it on sale, I say give it a shot. If you've ever been interested in it, because at least you'll find some enjoyment of like doing some like combo trials or labbing out some of the characters, even if you can't find matches or you can't find matches with people near your level. But yeah, that's about all I have to say on the game. I really don't know what else to say. There is some other stuff I want to talk about in terms of the channel, but I feel like that will probably be relegated to like other videos or maybe some community posts. I want to be more active on Twitter and Blue Sky as well, so we'll probably give more updates about what's coming to the channel there, because there's definitely going to be a lot of changes to the channel this year. I'm hoping that these changes end up helping the channel be a lot more entertaining for people or more valuable to people, besides what it's been so far. But no, I guess all I have to say right now is basically, for anyone who's been following me for DNF Duel content, I do apologize for there being less, but I can't promise you that there's going to be more in the future. I don't want to come on here and say, don't worry guys, DNF Duel's going to stay on the channel, it'll be coming back strong. Like, I really wish I could say that, but I unfortunately cannot. DNF Duel will probably stay on the channel, but it'll just be very infrequent. Like once a month at most. But God, I feel so sad saying that, but yeah, no, for anyone who's been following me for DNF Duel, whether it was from Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, tournaments, wherever you found me from, thank you for all the support. Thank you for following me on the channel, for sticking around with DNF Duel. Despite the hardship this game has had, I really do appreciate it. I hope you're still enjoying the game. But as for me, it's just, yeah, no, I think I've just had my time with this game, and I think it's time I move on to something else, as much as I don't want to. But yeah, no, as like I said, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for sticking around with me as I played this, as most people like to call it, dead game. Here's hoping that we all continue to find matches on this game. Maybe we'll fight each other in the future without me knowing. I know there's definitely been some times where I'll like upload a video and people will be like, oh, that was me. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, you know, to see someone I fought on DNF Duel actually finding the video. I always like that. I always think it's really cool. I always like seeing those comments about people saying like, oh yeah, your Ghostblade made me want to pick up the game, or I like the way your Ghostblade plays, I try to mimic it. Like, that stuff, that means so much to me. It really does. It's super cool to see that. So thank you for all that. Thank you guys for all the support as always. But I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this really rambly video. I'm sorry. I wish I was more concise or more gathered with my thoughts, but I didn't want to really write a script or an outline for this video. I just kind of wanted it to be my raw emotions on the game. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop yapping because I feel like I've just been like prolonging this video at this point. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day / night, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.